Hey guys, what's up? It's munclesonkey, and welcome to the last and final episode. I know both those words mean the same thing, but we're going to use them both anyway just for effect. Episode of the Kalphite King. Wrote all Drygores from him to be exactly. But anyway, I finally did finish the series, and I must say it was pretty darn disappointing. I don't want to, burst your guys' bubble or anything, but things did not end up the way that I expected them to. So before I get into that, I did just spend all my time making all my chitin scraps. So if we look at my bank, I now have 25k chitin. Not all of that is from Kalphite King, but I just did make it all just so I could have a complete and full price check from all the Kalphite King kills, and I will end up doing a little bit of math. I know I never would have expected that to ever happen in my life, but I will do some math and figure out exactly how much money we made per hour, and how much you could also expect per hour doing Kalphite King yourself. So without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so I showed myself smithing some chitin scraps here just for a bit of background footage. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is the most efficient way to do it. You just go to Varrock and bring a beast of burden and fill them up with chitin scraps, and yeah, just smith away and take from your beast of burden. So I guess I should talk a little bit about how the drop happened before it comes up on the screen. But since the last episode, I said the only Drygore we need left is a Drygore mace. So I decided, I'll try to go get that Drygore mace the next day. I ended up only going on one Kalphite King trip. We only did about 10 kills, and we got a Drygore mace. So I was really disappointed because I wanted to take it longer. I wasn't ready to be done with Kalphite King. I wanted to stay a lot more and get more Drygores before I actually got the Drygore mace. Well, I ended up being, I guess, kind of lucky. It wasn't really the way I wanted to get lucky, but yeah, we did get the Drygore mace right away. Literally 6 kills, Kalphite King kills after the end of the last episode. So here it is coming up on the screen now. It was just in a trio with a friend and one of her buddies that was evoking. So there we go, all done with the Drygores now. Kind of sad, but that's how life is sometimes. And here's the last and final Drygore log. I gotta say, we got really lucky with the duplicate items, only getting 2 duplicate items total, and one of them was the most expensive main hand, and the other one was the most expensive offhand. So I gotta say, this is by far the luckiest amount of PVM I have ever done in my life. I'm happy with the money made. I wish it could have continued longer. I will say that I will continue going back to Kalphite King task for Slayer tasks, but I have not had a Kalphite task any time recently. But as soon as I do, I'm going back to Kalphite King with some friends and try to pick up some more drops. But unfortunately, the series is ended here. That's not all bad though, as I will talk a little bit about possibly what the next series will be. And here we are with the final tab in the GE. Everything in my inventory has been obtained from Kalphite King, including all these chitin scraps. So it is kind of worth it to pick up the damaged chitin if you have free space. Of course, all the minions drop them, so just keep that in mind in the future. So these are all the drops we got. We only got one rare drop that's worth picking up, as well as a couple half keys, but I didn't really include them. 189 million in Drygore splits, so that is all 8 of the Drygores we got. We got 4 offhands and 4 main hands, so pretty darn average, I would say. So I will admit that I did in fact get lucky during this Kalphite King kill, and you cannot really expect as much loot as I did and make as much per hour unless you're with, of course, a really pro team and can like average 3-minute kills, and in that case you'll probably make just as much as me. But anyway, let's add everything up here, and we come to a total of 203 mil. So I did some math. The total kills it took to get all of this loot was 186. We averaged about 10 an hour because at the start we were getting about 8 kills an hour because I'll admit I kind of sucked. And at the end we were averaging 12 kills an hour because we were doing 2 overload flasks, and getting all 12 kills done, and obviously takes an hour because it's 5 minutes per overload dose. I meant 12 overload doses, not 12 overload flasks. That would be insane if you could go to Kalphite King with 12 overload flasks and finish them all. But yeah, that comes out to a total of about 10.9 mil per hour, which might sound like a lot, but just one thing that's always nice to keep in comparison is every time you do like a PVM series, if you're not making more than 7 mil an hour, it's not really worth doing because you can make 7 mil an hour at QBD. So even if like you go to Nex and you're making like 6 mil an hour there, you still got to keep in mind it's not worth doing because you could be making more at QBD. But you just kind of got to balance any PVM you do against QBD. So as I said, we're going to talk about the next PVM series now. And one thing that I want to keep you guys in mind is I am not willing to do Nex. I would like you to suggest what I should do for my next PVM series. Nex is completely out of the question. I'm not willing to go back there. I cannot stand that boss. Virago and Rise of the Six are most likely out of the question too, because there are not very many people who do them, and for the most part it's mostly just seismic teams that actually do those bosses all that often, and I don't have seismics. I'm not going to have them anytime soon, so those two bosses are probably not even a possibility, unless, I don't know, I met a really good team that doesn't require seismics, but I don't think that's very likely to happen. So in all honesty, what I'd like to do is some kind of road to a certain amount of kills from a boss, something like loot from 500 bandoses. I know I did loot from 500 Ceridome solos once, and that didn't go too well, but that's the only like God Wars boss I've camped for a long time. So just give me your suggestions in the comments of what boss you would like me to kill next for a series, and I will do it. And I could also just do like some sort of loot video, like spend all day at a certain boss, like automatons, for example, and just show what loot I got from those. Those series can also be kind of fun. But anyway, the Kalphite King series is complete, so that's an additional 200 mil to the Slayer tab. I did almost all of these kills on Slayer task, not all of them. I think I got 3 Drygores not on task, and the rest of the other 5 Drygores were on task, so something like that. But anyway, we're just going to put it all into the Slayer tab, just because the majority of the kills were on task, and that is a lot of money. But anyway, thanks you guys for watching the series. I'm really sorry the ending was so anticlimactic, and we didn't have some epic, 100 kill dry streak before we finally got the Drygore Mace, and I would be so happy then, but oh well, life happens sometimes. So yeah, about 10.9 mil for killing Kalphite King. I can safely say if you're with a decent team and can do 2 overload flasks in an hour, you're probably going to average around 7 mil or so at Kalphite King. That would be my rough estimate. So if that sounds like it's good to you, go ahead and try it with some friends. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Thank you for watching, and farewell.